Hi everyone, I'm here with Paula Handles, the zooarchaeologist here at the dig in Ashkelon, and we're really lucky because she has pulled out some of the handles that have been found over the time here at the site to share with us. Now remember, a zooarchaeologist deals with animals and animal remains, so we're going to be looking at things that were all made out of bone. And so when we're looking at these things, I want you to think about handles in your life. Where do you find handles, and what do these handles remind you of? So Paula, let's jump right in.
Okay, well the first handle I'm going to show you is made on, it looks like a tube, and in fact it is a tube. And they probably would have put like a plug in here, and then the plug could have been for the tail of the knife or something,
okay.
right?
So, been used
so
for
this
knife.
would have been like a knife or some slicing type. This is a pretty heavy handle. I think it's made out of a donkey bone. Our donkeys are small here, and I can see from the circumference and the weight of the bone, and that they're heavy.
They're really heavy.
Yeah, so I think that's a donkey bone.
We were talking earlier that we thought it looked like a jump rope handle.
Yeah, and some of these actually do. Some of them may remind you of handles that you use today, but some of them are going to be very different handles because they were for different types of utensils.
Yeah. So what about this next handle? It's like you said. It's highly stylized.
Yes, it's very, very pretty. It is carved around, so it has different bands with different carvings, and here we have, can you sort of see the dots and circles on it? This is made on a long, it's called a metatarsal. It's actually in your toe, but it's this part of the bone, which in humans is very short, but in sheep, goat, and cow is quite long. So this is made on a metatarsal. They've sawn off the ends, and then they carved it. This is a delicate handle. It probably would have had a delicate little, maybe a small knife in it, maybe even a little spoon or something like that. Okay. Now they did not eat with spoons at this time. They did not have silverware. Okay.
What did they eat with?
Their fingers
fingers.
and probably bread, flat bread to pick up bits of food. But if they did use spoons, it was maybe for incense or for unguents, different kinds of medicines, and things like that.
Wow.
So remember that these implements, we automatically associate implements with eating, but
but they weren't used for eating.
They weren't using
Keep that in mind as we're looking at these. This next one's
Now
really
this
round.
one is very round. This is made on a bigger bone. This probably would be made on again a rather large horse bone because it's heavy. It has a lot of weight to it. Now this really does look like a jump rope bone.
Yeah, it really
does.
does look like a jump rope on the end of it. What might have someone used this for?
Again, this would have a knife. Remember, handles that have fairly large knives, they have to have some strength. Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about the handles you use. They have to have some strength for if you're hacking through something, or even if you're slicing through something that's hard. So this is probably would have a plug in here, and then the handle would have come out of here.
Okay.
Now we have some.
I like these handles.
Some thinner handles.
Heavy.
They also carve their handles to look like different types of things. And this is probably a handle, would have been for a very small implement because you can actually see it's got a little slit in it where the tang or the bottom of the knife, a small implement would have gone in, and it is carved like a hoof.
Like that, like
a cow.
Oh my goodness, a cow!
Right?
That's spectacular.
Yeah, and so again, this is probably made on this bone because it's a nice part of the animal that has a lot of dense bone. See how thick the bone is?
Look at that.
That's what they want. Now here's another. This would have been a longer handle. This is. Why don't you show it? This is a hand.
Look at this. It's a hand. It's got there's the top side of the hand, and then there's the hand curled over.
Right.
I just think it's amazing.
And so that would have been like this. The figural parts, right, would have been at the back of the handles that they were using. Okay.
This is an interesting handle. It looks a lot different from all the other ones we've seen.
It does. These two look different. They also had handles that came in pieces, okay? So if you look at this handle, imagine that they had the tail of the knife coming down through here with a hole in it, right? And there would be another piece just like this on the other side. Right, so
like a sandwich.
It would sandwich these two, right? And then you'd put heavy rivet holes in it again. That would give you quite a bit of strength to hack with. And this knife is similar to it, except it's not two pieces, it's one piece where you can actually see some of the rusty iron still in there. Okay, so that's the bottom of the knife, and here is the rivet hole that would have held the knife in place. Now we have a kind of handle of which they made a lot. They liked for their finer things, their perfumes, their unguents, their incense, which was very popular in those times. Incense is a kind of thing that you light and it makes smoke and perfume, right?
Air
it was
freshener.
an ancient air wick, right?
Yep.
Okay, so these things were used for more delicate type spoons. So here's a handle, again, probably made on the same sheep or goat metatarsal as this one
you
is
can
made
see that
on.
they're very
Yeah,
similar.
you can see that they're very similar in size. But this one is carved and it's graduated, and it has a little rivet hole, and this is very finely made. This is made on what's called a lathe. A lathe is a machine that turns things. You put your implement that you want to carve into the lathe, and it turns it around like this. And the craftsman takes his knife and holds it steady, and he gets bands and decorations. And
Oh,
things like
wow,
that.
look at that.
So that's why this one is so nicely, it's regularly shaped. You can see by its regular shape, and you don't see any knife cuts on it, so you can tell it's made by the lathe. Now these are knife cuts, and these are, again, a whole bunch of handled blanks that were found together in one spot in the ground, which gives us a very good idea that they were manufacturing these. Look at how they all look alike.
And when we were talking earlier, I said they look like modern hairpins.
Yeah.
And you said no,
they're actually handles. I used to think they were hairpins too. These are not made on a lathe. They're knife carved, okay, and they again would be for delicate spoons and types of things like that would be scoops, or that would be attached to this. And this was a popular style, particularly in Roman times, with these points. Okay. And now we have probably one of our prettiest little implements.
I think this is amazing.
And this is carved out of a whole piece of bone. And it's a bone spoon. So you can see if you looked at this, you just think it was a pin for clothing.
You would
or
be.
hair.
I mean, that's exactly right.
But then you see it's got the little bowl on it.
Yeah.
And so this was, isn't that
like
just lovely?
Incense or
perfumes, medicines, exactly.
Right, not for eating your soup.
Right. No.
No, this is amazing to me. This is made out of all one bone.
Right.
And what's even more impressive is that it's
still with us.
Yes, the test of time.
Right.
Oh man, Paula, this is just fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all your beautiful handles.
You're
with us.
welcome.